Alright, so quick look at getting 12 inputs into an Apollo X8, which is actually designed really as 8 line inputs and 4 mic inputs on XLRs, but I've found that I can use the XLRs perfectly well as line inputs, just using obviously TRS to XLR cables or adapters, which are very easy and cheap to get hold of. What it means for me is someone who's got basically a synth-based setup with the need for, in my case, at least 12 line inputs to manage all the sources you see on the main synth rack here. Then having the option of using all those inputs as line inputs is a massive difference to me on how I use my Apollo X8, because I rarely, if ever, need to actually run a mic in through the preamps. I'm not sure if it's a recommended or a right way of doing it, but I've been doing it for quite a while and have no issues with the levels. It just, when I switch to mic with a line source, as long as I'm managing the input level, it just seems to treat it just as you'd expect as a line source. It doesn't seem to care at all, which is kind of what I expected, and that's how it works, which is great. So let me just talk you through how that's actually set up. In order to get those mic inputs working as line inputs, you need to switch between them, because the Apollo X8 has 8 inputs you can use at any one time. So although there are 12 sockets on the back, 4 for mics, 8 for line inputs, 4 of those are obviously doubled up in terms of the actual channels available to you, as it does on my X8. So how do you get around that? It's really simple. So at the moment, this is the profit that you can see coming through this stereo channel, which is actually inputs 3 and 4 on the Apollo, and currently set to line. You can switch this on the unit or on the main Apollo software, but I'm going to do it here. Now I've just switched that to, as you can see here, I've got this channel labelled profit/Nord, and this is how my main synth template is saved in console. On the mic input, as you can hear there, I've got the Nord 3P drums. So if I want to switch between them to record into the Apollo, that's all I have to do. Switch between the Profit online and the Nord on the mic. If I move to the other, I'm just going to stop the Profit a second. If I move to channel 1, currently set to line, and on the line input I have the SH101. There we go, got a little sequence going there. So that's coming through online, but as soon as I switch to mic, that will stop, because the mic channel is taken up with the Pro 3. That lovely pad sound on there. On channel 2, as you can see here, it says Percons and TD3. So yeah, TD3, the sort of 303 knockoff from Behringer, is coming through online on channel 2. And if I switch to mic, we are now hearing the sound, obviously, of the Percons. So that's your first 4 channels. And obviously, if you wanted to, instead of having one set of stereo, you could have that as 2 more mono channels. So you could totally, configure that how you want, regardless of whether it's mic or line. And then the rest, the other 4 remaining channels, which are just line input only, I have both configured as stereo for, one is on the Matriarch, thank you Matriarch, and one is on the Juno. And obviously there's no line mic selector switch up on those because they're pure line inputs only.